The amateur game has always been a big part in our lives. It's always the topic of our conversations and is constantly on our minds on a daily basis.
Although it's not at a professional level, the amateur game is a working class sport at a working class level. Players put their bodies on the line, lives on hold, and have worked their socks off to be the best they can be from the top to the bottom of the amateur game.
We live and breathe football, and the amateur game has given us our best years in football. Both of us have come to the end of our playing days and want to sit and speak to the legends of the game, the legends in their world, to sit and listen about the careers and stories of the game we love.
Welcome to our podcast.
3 points, please.
Today we have a ex-junior and amateur international with a trophy cabinet the length of my arm. I don't know what to call you, Ross. I can't give you like a Killester legend or a Ballymun legend or a Valley legend.
No,
so
don't.
we'll just introduce you. Yeah. Today we have Ross Carrig. Welcome, Ross.
Cheers, thanks very much, lads, for having me.
So we're going to jump into this. What are you at now?
Just managing Kilbarrack, getting ready now for the start of the season next week. So we just only got the fixture this morning, so we're at home to Crumlin. So a nice start.
Oh,
There you go, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good start. Look, it's good to be there. So yeah, no, the lads are in this morning. I wasn't there now, but they were there. They were all there this morning, bar one or two. So
The process is probably a bit different than when you're playing and everything else. It's going to, the structure you're going to put into it and all is a bit different, is it?
yeah, I think the structure you will probably know as well. You've played under good managers, good coaches. I think when you do that, you get it. You pretty pick up your structure really, really quick. Like as a manager, like it's totally different. There is totally different. It's annoying at times, but I think when you play under the likes of Joey, you know, Martin Loughran, Noel Sin, and them kind of things through your career, like, you know, then you Paul Martin, and then you Brian, then you Glenn Crowe coaching, you pick up
The good habits,
the good habits,
Yeah.
like, you know, you really pick it up really quick, like.
Yeah.
I think I picked it up pretty quick working under Joey for 8 years. Like the way he was just brutal. Like
He's always a good structure. Even his team setups and all that. The structure is always in there.
The one thing I always took from him, and I do it now as a manager, is I don't worry about other teams. I always took that one straight away. I knew teams like you'd hear managers go on about. Used to have played at the top level and go, oh, they have this player, they have that player, they have this player, and all that. Joey's mentality was, I don't care about anyone else. If my team's not set up right, there's something wrong. Like, it doesn't matter. I have the best. In his eyes, he always had the best team. Like, and I picked up that pretty quick. You played under Martin. Martin was the same. Like, they didn't care. There was no tactics. Or they had that player like Dean Kelly, or they had a Nelson. You had to be careful of this. There was none of that. Like, there was never that. And I think it's totally changed now. Where I'm a bit of old fashioned. I think, and I don't do that. I don't get involved now. I don't go and watch many teams play. And
It's mad. It's talking to a few managers now, as you said, but you probably picked up, as you said, playing with good, getting coached with good managers now. There's a lot of players, managers that we talk to now, and all they say is, oh, but that team, as you said there, and they have that player and all, but they obviously you're self-obsessed, and obviously their kind of game plan goes out the window then when they're playing against that team. Like,
yeah, I think that when you actually worry about a team, I picked up that pretty quick. Like, I'm at Kilbarrack 3 years now, but as a manager now, when you're forced in, you think, this is like Premiership stuff. You can go in and go and look at players like this, and they played that tactics and that. Like, we have a system, and that's what I did. I did it for the first few weeks. I was like going, oh no, just doing my head in, like sitting down for hours 2 days before the game started. I'd be playing, you know, someone like Larkview or something like that, like, and you'd be like worried about it, like, you know. What have they got? Like, and I think after a couple of weeks, I was doing my head in. I was like going, no, just worry about the system we play, like, and just worry about who we have, because like that. I spoke to you, Nelson, on the phone today. It's changing, like, you know. Sometimes you're leaving your team to the last hour, because lads will text you and say, I'm stuck in work, or something's wrong, or this and that, or then something pulls up in the warm up. Like, you're leaving it down. I don't name my team now until after the warm up. Every game.
You literally don't know till coming up.
Right. You know, you've been involved in it now with that, like, and something can just happen, like, and throws you, like, and then your game plan has gone out. So don't worry about it. Not anymore. I don't worry about it.
It's a good trait to have now, to get it into you. And obviously with what you're at the saying there, like, walking underneath the managers, like, if that's a little snippet you can take out of Joey Graydon's part, you could take little snippets from Martin Loughlin's, from Brian's, you know, all these top managers to have played under, and you could have like a little bit of all of them. Do you know what I mean? which is
Obviously,
which
it's
is a great
working.
thing.
If you're doing well the last few seasons.
Yeah,
so.
look, at there 3 years. In fairness, when I went in, I was like, Alan, I wanted to get into the coaching side of things. I enjoyed it. I didn't think I'd be a manager at this. I'm still young, like, you know, I'd look at myself, but I didn't think I'd be a manager? No. Not now. But I says, no, I like the coaching, I like the hands-on stuff.
and
like
then
that,
probably
you know.
develop into a
You know,
manager.
like you said too as well, to be close enough to my age, not far off. You know.
But fill our hold
No,
on.
you try and fill a gap in your life. Like, it's
Yeah.
hard. Like, when you get to that age and you're 35 and then you play 35, we still play 35. You play it. Alan has played it. Like, it's to fill the gap. And I was like, oh no, I like the coaching point. I like being around the football because that's all I've been brought up in.
Where did the transition come in? Where you were like, oh shit, I'm gonna go in here as manager, or did they come to you as a coach?
When Brian was there, and he was only in. I was at the airfield, and then I was there because Alzy, Mick, and Ryan played there, and I left mocked us after doing the ACL after we won the league. Didn't get back then for a couple of months, and I just said, you know what? I'll leave. I wasn't getting in here, so I says, just went. I think we played the last 3 months for airfield, and then I was asked there. I was doing a bit of coaching there, and then Brian didn't work out at airfield for loads of different reasons. But the team Brian rang me, and now Brian from Crumlin. He says, do you want to come in here coach? And then it was only about a couple of weeks into the season. I says, yeah, okay. And I got into it, like, and I loved it. It's like grand, and then all of a sudden, like that, as I always say, football, it can change tomorrow. Like, Brian had to give up because of his work commitments. He had a massive job, and he was on shift, and you know, and he had kids, and the young lad Taylor, like, that's in the Irish squad, so he lives in Kildare, like, so he was back and forward from Kilbarrack, like,
tough gig for him.
Tough gig for him, like. And he just decided after a couple of months, that's how I took it over. I just jumped straight into it. I didn't know, I didn't think about it. Just it happened in a day. And Willie rang me and goes, will you take it on? Brian wants you to take it on. And I says, yeah. And we just went with it, like.
Brilliant.
In fairness, he had a good setup there. He had young lads, like, that came in, like, and you know, like.
So it wasn't an overhaul for you, like.
No, you know, and that's what I said. I think what I picked up straight away, then even after we won the league the first year, is you need to add 2 or 3 players to it. Like, I think Killester did that when I went to Killester. It was me, Dave Lacey, and OC. At that stage, like, Joey brought in, it was always 3. Crumlin did it. I went in at Crumlin.
Every year, it's just them 3 players is all you need,
isn't
it?
Said, you know, strength and depth. But I think in the area, there's not many teams down in that area, Kilbarrack, where you have a lot of teams over the south side, and everyone's fighting for them players. You'd have now Talker up in the Talker League, so you'd Killester down there, you know, Malahide, so there's 3 of us down there, where before there wasn't, and you were getting the players that at that time probably just wanted to play football, wanted to give it like a bash, but a lot of them were all mates. But there was a core there, the older lads, the Gav Cochran that's usually playing, Aaron Humphreys, Mark Nolan, they were still there, and they're still there. So it was good to get that little group together, because we, like, the last 3 years is just flying by, like,
quick,
flying,
especially
quick.
when you do what you are at the doing consecutively. 3 years on the bounce coming up, isn't it?
Yeah,
and to get into the top level, like, I'd say it went lightning quick, but it's a great, it's, as you said, it's a slog, but it's a great achievement, like an unbelievable achievement.
I think after the first year when we won it, I was like going, and in fairness to Willie, says, look, you have a 5-year plan. I want you in that top league in 5 years. From a committee point of view, they said 5 years. Like, I'm looking and going, all right, okay.
I'll do this in 3.
Yeah, but you know, I think that after the first year, it was like, you know, when you get to know the lads, and it went on, and especially the younger lads, they just kept maturing and go into the second league, the thing, and then we went unbeaten all year.
Great achievement again,
like, you know, and in fairness, they just go, like, they just free flow, and it remind me of the days at Killester and Crumlin. Just the lads are hungry, like, and I think they give the older lads a bit of a boost as well to go, oh, these are decent, like,
these are capable.
Keep going, and then last year I'd always, Joey Graham was brilliant at having a black book, brilliant at it, and he'd write down his team every day, and I that's the thing I picked up from him, and he'd mark players out of 1 to 10. Like, I only copped onto this later years in life when he told me about it, like, but he'd mark players out of 1 to 10, and he'd have it
on a game day basis.
And he had it down to a T, like,
a rating for the whole season.
For the whole season, like,
brilliant.
And that's what he did on his, and I've just picked that up of having a game day, because he had a different 11 every day, like, every game. But last year, that's where I took, even with having a big squad, was I only checked my before pre-season last year. I put down objectives for the thing, like, and I think I had Talca, Collinstown, Greystones, who I'd be fighting her out. And I says, if I come third there were that lot, because of that, they were experienced teams in intermediate football that were always up and
played
down
in the
between,
top level.
you know, and they're always there. It was like, as you know, it's a nightmare league to get out. It's like the old Premier B.
Yeah.
To get out of, like that's how
the championship, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a championship. Like, and did I think we were going to win it? No. I didn't think that was the one thing I didn't have on my list. It was like winning it, just get up
quite comfortably as well. Was it? Well,
yeah,
not a huge margin.
Yeah, not a huge margin.
You're always
up
there on the top.
But in fairness, it's down to the group, the players. Like, they buy into it. Like, I think, you know, I think that's what you have. I always used to say, even I used to use a WEFTA. You had the best team when we always used to play against each other. Like, for Killester, you had the best team. For some reason, it just didn't come. You know, I think it. And I've always said to the people, there's like even Talca back then, and a couple of years ago when I was at Crumlin, they always had the best group of players. Technically, you played, you'd all lads like Spanky and all like playing, but you just had the best team. Compared to Killester, never had the best team.
But if you go back to what you're saying there as well, we probably obsessed with Killester too much, and it kind of when we played you then and pushed towards you, you just seem to always get the best of us. Remember you played us in the FEI, and JD put a last kick of the game.
It was an extra time.
Put the ball under the wall. Macca said that, and Lacey corrected like that.
Pissing rain.
So it's always one of them that were nearly there, but because we obsessed with you, was we had to beat Killester, but you probably didn't obsess with us too as much. You had the game plan. You went and done your game plan, and obviously you just came out on top.
I think it was even we played during the Nivea final as well. I think one.
We went 1-0 up.
Yeah,
beat us 2-1.
I think you battered us. Like,
played it better.
That's
stop bringing that up, will you, please, Ross?
But you had a team. That's why I always say there's always teams that you played against them and you'll always go, do you know what? They're always there, and just never jumped in terms of that.
We were literally only like we were probably 2 or 3 players short, I think, weren't we? We've had conversations with people on this even, and the likes of Christie and the Canes and all even said it, like, WEFTA were always there, but just never got there.
As Chris said, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Like, so, but I think if we won something that year, it would have changed the whole the way, because I think the year later everyone started to slip away and people left. If we won something there, we would have got players in and structured the team. Then again,
and
back to structure.
Looking back on it, probably not saying this in a bad way. I think yous were all pals.
Yeah,
and I think that was the difference with Killester, you know, at the time, because I came from the outside, Lacey came from the outside. There was no real pally stuff. I think you all
played schoolboy for
together. You know, you went out partying together. You said Garen's all pal around with each other. Do you know what I mean? There wasn't really that. It's like that at Crumlin, because I was coming from 3 years over the thing. I never stood over there to have a drink. You know, there was no. I always found that with my career, I always, like, when people say you have a lot of clubs, but I always thought in my career, when I just start getting that winning habit, I was like going, I enjoyed this, and I didn't care where I moved. I just kept pushing it on.
Right, we'll go off that and we'll keep all the rest of the career stories for a little bit later. But just touch on your schoolboy career, Ross. Where did you start? Did you have?
I just started at Rivermount. I only went there when I was 17.
Right.
So I always played Gaelic. I'm from Ballymun. In Ballymun, it was always Gaelic. There was Kick'ems. There was never soccer. I think they used to have a Ballymun town. They used to play behind the library where Satanta is. But and I used to live in the 4 stories. But I grew up there, and Philly McMahon's family grew up in the next block, you know, and we had this and that. But it was always GEA. There was not soccer, and I started working in, would have been, I think it was crazy prices when they used to have it in the Omni. And mate Rog and Alzi, they all worked there, and then they just asked me out one day because they played with Rivermount. And he says, "Oh, do you want to play?" We played at actually a tournament
under Anto Devlin then.
Yeah. That's what I was actually Ned down there in Andrew that used to manage the Valley. He lives in Rathout, I think. What's Andrew's? Andrew Lynch.
Andrew
he was the manager
right,
down at Rivermount. But just the boys asked me up after playing a tournament for Tesco's for crazy prices at the time. Says, "Yeah, go on, give us a shot." So I never knew nothing about soccer. Didn't know where to play, nothing. So that's how I started there. And then when we left after 18s, we went to all the Valley. So that's how that happened. I just enjoyed it. I started getting the bite, like, for the, like, I was like, oh no, this is nice, because in Gaelic, as now yourself said, you get to minor. If you don't go on to the Dublin, like, that's it. Like, you know, you can play senior and all that. Like, no, that's how it happened.
That's how it developed into it.
Yeah.
Turned into a winning team then at the Valley then.
Yeah, that's what I said. We think that's where we went.
So when schoolboy, just all you straight into seniors.
Yeah, straight into seniors. Anto brought us. He was there at the time and brought us, and that's the side, Gussie down there, and what a club, like, to be involved in at that stage, like, it was great.
Do you know what I loved about the Valley? They had nothing. The Valley had, I mean, nothing. No clubhouse. They had changing rooms at the back of them
Yeah,
shops.
the shops
in the
used to
Cafe
walk
House.
across like.
And like, I think that's all the surroundings, the shops, the people who hung around the shops,
Yeah.
the crowd that used to be up at the Valley for such like a team that had nothing at all, just that little pitch and them smelly little changing rooms, and then the crowds that they used to
You
get.
already
People were
won.
beaten
Yeah, you were
before they played.
Yeah, when your teams come over, you're already gone. Oh, you can use our dressing rooms over there. And now we stay. We can park changing our cars, like, and you park up in the grass. It was brilliant. Like then you had a bit of laughter with it, like and stuff like that. But it was good, like because it's a good team. Then, like
what league did you start off or get up in? Or?
I think it was C2 or something like they used to call it in the AOL. Like so, I think it was C2 or C1 and then C2 and then Premier B. Like I remember we actually bet Kilbarrack in Premier B to go up. It wasn't then went up. It was for the league and it was down in Kilbarrack.
Yeah, I
in the
remember
last
that game. Yeah,
the keeper spilled and Noddy actually scored. We just needed a draw and all that. So yeah, and then we went to the Premier A. But I left then, and it's one regret I always say to people that I shouldn't have never leaving Ballymun, just because we actually played Ballymun in the cup.
Ballymun probably would have been the team then.
And then we played them in a cup and we brought them, I think, to Terry Corby, the Canes and all that. And then, because I lived there, the minute we played them, I think we played, it was the regeneration. They played down DCU at this stage, down behind the garage there. And we played them a cup and we brought them the extra time. And straight after that, my phone was hopping that night. Oh, come on, next season and all that. So it was the worst decision I made at that time. I should have just staying with Valley. Because they nearly won it that year.
Yeah, second.
So left.
Point, was it? Or
5 points.
Five,
yeah. Paying. That would the year you would have left would have been the year me and Carl Murray signed for the Valley. So we were only 18.
I think Gago then signed as well.
And Gago signed.
I think and then wasn't there an issue or something over a protest or something and they lost 3 points.
What happened was we were battling Portmarnock for the league, and I think the Valley went into that league at 33-1.
Yeah,
went into it. I think Davy Lacey had like 20 quid or something on it.
Yeah,
and it was going around, Davy Lacey has 20 quid at 33-1 for the Valley. What was he thinking? And it was coming towards the end of the season, and we had signed Gago. Gago came in and he was brilliant. He was brilliant. He just used to hold the ball up, but he was up front with Spanky and Alzy Ray. Anto used to play a 4-3-3. And it was like coming down to the crunch time, and something had happened, like because he went from professional.
Yes, we regraded.
He regraded. You have to give it a certain amount of time. And whatever, when he came in, the first game he played, we won. But someone banged in a protest then about like 6 weeks later, and they took the 3 points off us. Yeah. But I think we only end up losing the league by about 2 points or a point or something.
I remember
because
we played with Ballymun, and I remember too we got the FA Junior Cup quarter-final. I don't know what team it was in Ringsend, and Stephen Hanna only came back down. So that's how it all happened. That's how the Ballymun came back from the north.
So someone copped it then, obviously,
and we got through now with the FA Junior. They're winning in the quarter-finals. I think it was at a round before it, and we bet the team 5-0 and Stephen Hanna came out in 10 minutes and someone put in a protest. That's how it all happened.
So someone else was saying like Gago would be the same,
probably kicked her
in all that year, like it was crazy. Like you're
winning some achievement though on the row. Was it 3 leagues in a row he's done? The Valley, and then obviously and winning probably the hardest league on at that stage. Like.
And that standard back then was
top standard.
That was Premier A at its best, I think. Them years, and then probably like about 4 or 5 years on after that was frightening.
Can you break down that 11 that played for the Valley, like, and what careers they went on to have? Like obviously Gago with his, Alzy Ray, as you said,
Lacey,
Murray, Lacey,
Spanky.
So if you break that down, like that was the base of like a lot of good players that went through and had great careers in the Premier A football, probably amateur football. Like, so,
definitely.
As you said, for the team to come have nothing. They got that team together. It's brilliant.
Yeah, and that's what I said. In fairness, at the time, then Ballymun had the pick of probably the best players coming out of Finglas.
Yeah, so it's like a step up academy.
It's like that's what I said, and that's what happened. Like as what I even said a couple of weeks ago, I was talking to Byrne and he was asking me questions, and he says, "I think you need someone from back in the area to manage Ballymun." Like, I said, because you used to have the pick of the best players from Finglas, and in that area, that's gone. It's always from the outside now. And now he agreed with me in that way, but back then, like you had Hannah, you had Derek Moore, they're that Bordock, you're playing with players like that, the Canes, like it's frightening. You're playing, I played with Keith Brown, like that's
unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. You played with Conroy behind you. You used to have played with good goalkeepers. I think every club I was at was great goalkeepers.
Played with Leland Lunatics, that's what we played.
That's what I said, you were the centre back, like you never worried.
Yeah.
You never
Yeah.
worried playing with all them
100%,
all the
that's-
way through. Like
Yeah.
if you look back with a keeper, like I'd played with them all. Like
You need one, don't you?
Yeah.
If you're going to be winning titles and you're going to be winning cups, you need a top level
you
keeper.
need a
It gives you
100%.
confidence though, when especially because you'd make decisions there for a goalkeeper and yourself. Say sometimes if you haven't got a good goalkeeper, so you'd say, well, I have to go slide in the front post and don't trust the keeper to
Yeah.
get the ball. But you have a good goalkeeper.
But I
You'd
think
let him do it.
yeah, I think it was more toughness back then. It was more harder compared to now.
Yeah.
Like it's more ball on the deck. It's there's not really much of that smacking. Back
Yeah.
when we all playing the AUL, like
It was
crazy.
all
Carnage.
like tackles,
Tackles.
aggressiveness and dirtiness and
Yeah.
all of it. Everyone had
Yeah.
everything.
But it'd be
in it.
best mates going and breaking each other up because of passion to win and
Yeah,
get one
that's
up
what
on
it
him,
was,
not
and
letting
that's-
him win the ball. So.
And that's what it is. It was passion to win. I think that's what, and that's looking back now. That's what probably drove me, and it probably drove me to an end. Like you're going, I was a prick. Like let's call a spade a spade.
just
No one like, do you know what I mean? In terms of
about-
it was me passion to win. Like once I
Same,
got that
was the
bug
exact same.
in playing the soccer, it was like I was addicted to it. It was
Yeah.
like an addiction. Now when you hear about people having addiction, I had an addiction to it. Like I was
Yeah.
like, going, I hated losing. Like and I never had that at GA.
Yeah.
I think the way you said you're a prick and everyone else, I think you being like that, stop people giving you the credit that you deserve, because a lot of people say, geez, Ross wasn't that good. No, well, your trophy cam doesn't lie there, but because you had that attitude and people wouldn't give you the credit that you deserve, but because that's where you went on the pitch, because you nearly choking people, well, people nearly choking you coming off the pitch.
So you'd have arguments around when we'd all have arguments, and that's what I said. And when you'd actually sit down later and you're like, going, what the fuck was I doing? Do you know what I mean?
But it
Yeah.
all boils down to the competitiveness and the
Yeah.
want to win.
Yeah.
Like realistically, any Barney that I've had umpteen ones with
Yeah.
you, Ross, and other people. Any time I've had a Barney with someone, it was all out of a competitiveness
Yeah.
to win for whoever I was playing for.
I think the most famous ones you had was down in Killester, wasn't it?
Yeah. And that's what I mean. It's the same.
In the
like,
showers,
in the showers. That's what I
fucking
said.
soaked up and bleeding for
and
throwing
everyone,
digs.
because you were going for it, like, and you knew you should have beaten us that
Yeah.
day, and get it and all that, and then we were all the thing. But that's what I mean. It's you can laugh about it now, and that's what I said. But that's come down to passion. I do regret some of it. You do 100%. You regret some of it. What went on, but again, it was just my will to win.
You have the medals in the trophies there, so
Yeah.
obviously you might regrets, but listen, I'd rather have no regrets and load of
And that's
trophies.
what I said. Like I'd always say, I wouldn't 100%. I was nowhere near what players like your level. Like that's what I'd always say. You're better than me, Paulie Murphy, centre halves, even Conor Dillon. Derek Griffin's at the Crumlin and all that. Everyone was different, but
You were different style, yeah.
I was different style, like, and it suited Killester. It took me a
time,
while
yeah.
when I went to Crumlin to get used to it. And I remember,
You were always like a sweeper of a tree, weren't you? Like yeah.
And I loved it because my first game at Killester, I played wingback.
Right.
And Joe was like, "Oh, you're fit, like up and down." I remember playing against Kilbarrack, and then I was like, "Oh yeah,
I don't mean
Yeah.
back.
what am I doing here?" Like, and then all of a sudden, just away because he had the players, he put me in there in the Sligo game, and I just took to it. Like,
Yeah.
I went down to Killester briefly for about a couple of months
That's right,
when we were down there, but the way he played that, like, as you said, he had something, a way to play, and you had to play that way, or else you don't play in the team. When I went down, I think I was playing a cup match, I went in this sitting row with you where I don't want you to mark that forward. Don't mark the forward. I stepped in. Don't mark the fucking forward.
yeah,
He wants the two boys on the other side, they'll mark, and I just sit back and sweep the whole way across.
and it would have
It
been
works.
hard for you, like in that way.
I wasn't
going
used to it, yeah.
to-
Because I was with me tackles, with me headers.
Now,
and-
now,
I was
half
used to
you were-
because of my GA background.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
he used to play in midfield, that he used to play me centre forward and give me a free roll, like, and just run around, like, because of the fitness, like, and just ran and get on the ball. I like getting on the ball, and just suited me straight away when I went in. I went, oh, I love this.
Yeah.
But like, I'm starting to play that way now. Obviously, as I get older, with the 35s, I'm just sitting back and kind of covering across, and
Yeah.
it makes it so much easier.
Yeah, I had an easy career.
Yeah, but listen,
So in that way, because I've played with great players. I
Yeah.
just said it with the lads in Killester, the lads in Crumlin, that mocked us. I played with great players around you. It was easy, like,
Yeah.
I remember going into Crumlin and you're getting the ball out of the back after me first game or two, and you're giving it to Martin Kramer, and you're going, right
Yeah.
here.
This is
You
easy.
do the rest, or Danny Loughlin,
Yeah,
and I'm looking going, this is easy.
Yeah.
Like, all you had to do was defend, but the players you played with, like, it was just frightening.
top of your game though. That's what happens when you're playing at the highest level. You
And
play
that's
with
what I
better
said, like,
players.
that's like all the stuff you win, and you do the effort I put into it. It's what I got out of it.
Yeah, and then look, it's what you deserve. Do you know what I mean? In fairness, you play it everywhere you went to. Your international caps and everything, But so you went to Ballymun. What happened there with Ballymun?
I did, and Ballymun were at the stage where they were winning everything, and then there was a bit of a transition. I think Noel Sinner left, then Joey Malone came in, and I didn't get into it. I was young, and then like you were going back to the towers, and you know, and Friday night, and the game was even on Sunday. You were still out Friday night, you know, and all this. But it was just it was changing. The football that in Ballymun was changing, and that team, like, and Davey and all that, they were him and Han, and I think Stephen had left, and it was the whole thing was changing. And it just after the first year, Joey Graydon did come to me. I says no, and then the second year he says I'm getting you. And I'll always remember he knocked on the door like I was hungover. My mum called me and came up into the room and says, "There's a man down there looking for you." It was on a Saturday.
The fear kicks in.
On a Saturday.
Who's the man?
And then so I says, "Who?" She says, "I don't know." She says, "Go down to him." Like, you know, we moved out of Ballymun at that stage we moved out when we were 16. But next fall I went down. He says, "I told you, I'm going to sign you." Like, that was the second year. He says, "I'm here." Like, he says, I said, "Joey, I was out all night." "Don't care, I'm signing you." He says, "You're coming." Like, he says, "I've David Lacey." Like, he says, "You're coming." Like, and I'll never forget. Like, that was it. That was how I went. And it was a hard cut because Paul Martin came in to Ballymun then as a manager, and I got on well. We had him in the AOL team.
Yeah, that's right.
Brilliant fella, and it broke me heart telling him. And I knew, I says, right, I have to get out of here. I have to do it. Like, and just like that went down, and that was it. Like, we were training in Prizewood Park, and Ballymun had the great facilities. And Joe, where do we train? Prizewood Park. I says, what? Going down there now doing 30 laps, and it was all about fitness.
The training we used to do down there every Tuesday or Tuesday
was the tour.
They're in the 5 sides there, but we didn't go near the 5 sides, just into the grass, pissing rain, monkey up to the eyeballs. Couldn't even see where run there. And that back and forward. And everyone just barred into it.
Yeah.
You know, everyone just barred it. Even if you were injured, you would not tell Joey that you were injured. Because he'll drop you, like, you know. And I've had arguments with him, and he's left me out. Like, he left me out a couple of times, and there's no issue because I played for the AOL and he told me not to. Well, you know, when we had the argument, he says, "No, you're not playing. Don't want you down at the club." Like, that's how strict he was. But the running, everyone just bought into it. There was no messing about. Like, if you didn't buy into it, you go. Like, because there was a lot of lads that just didn't like it. Yeah. After a while, they go, "Oh no, I'm out here." And that's what it was. Like, but it was there for 7-8 years, but,
and it worked.
And then the first year, that's what I said, because me and Lacey always slagged the boys, like, have a bit of banter with them. It took us, me and Lacey, to come in for us to win the FUI Junior, you know. And that's what I'm saying. Like, there was no, even the year we won the FUI Junior, I actually missed it. I was getting married, and I missed the quarter final in Clonmel. I says, Lacey and Mick have supposed to go on the Stags. He says, "They're not going." I says, "Okay." And he says, "I said, can you not switch the game?" "No, we're playing it." And he won, but he put me back straight in the semis. Like, it was brilliant. Like, you know, the daily amount. They're the days you remember. Like,
yeah, definitely. Yeah. That's what you want to get there. That's what you that's what you work for. And
but he was passionate. Like, and I think I took up that pretty quick off him. Like, he didn't take no shit.
Yeah. He seemed like one. He seemed like that sort of manager. Yeah.
I think if you do that these days, you have to be kind of careful what you say, because you'll run
as I said to you, and you know, the game has totally changed. It breaks your heart at the time, man. And I remember saying to Joey, even when he left Ballymun, he did a great job at Ballymun to get them back up. I says, "Well, how come you're giving it up?" He says, "It's changing." Yeah. And I think Martin would have told you that, and I think even Pete Lennon and all that, they'll say the exact same thing.
And Joey hasn't gone back into management since then. Sure, he hasn't.
He's no interest in it. Yeah. No interest in it.
Yeah, I tell you, once it goes down that road, it kind of the passion gets diluted.
Yeah, and the fairness to him, but I owe everything to him, because that's how I got into the Irish team. I had lads that probably should have gotten in, like the likes of Darren Murphy, JD, and all that. These lads didn't get capped. Like, these are lads at top of the game, and I got in, and then when you get into that Irish team, you know, it just took off then. Like, and that's why I didn't move with them.
Harder to get out than to get in.
That's it. Yeah, that's the motto in the Irish team. It's once you're in, like, you do well, it's to get out. Like, I played right full, left full, centre half,
everywhere.
You know, everywhere for the Irish team. So wasn't an issue. But when they were decided to move, you know, I think after all the trips, and then there was an issue with the Rio trip. I actually did my ACL before that. I couldn't go about a week before that. Everyone was texting me that morning going, "Yeah, right over there." I'm in my bed. But it was like, there was nothing in it with, you know, in terms of that. But, you know, but we went to Miami, we went to South Africa before that.
South Africa,
all about that,
down the shark diving, like,
it's great trips. Great trips.
But that's what I said, it's part of the life. Like.
So the good, obviously, the junior football drinking culture comes with it as well, you know.
Yeah.
That's what you do, is you work to play a match at the end of the week, and probably be spent a shilling.
Exactly. I think the AUL used to pay, say, for 20 players and then whatever 5 staff. But even when he signed new lads and all that, he made sure that everybody went. So he did a fundraising to make sure that everybody went. There was no, it's just the 20 lads. I'm not bringing the new lads, or I'm not bringing committee members. Everybody went. It was brilliant. Like, stuff you'll never forget. Like, in the stories where it goes along with it. Like, you know, and that's why I think then he decided that's when the changing even in the AUL was happening. I think a lot of youths had left even left, and there wasn't, you know, Sheriff were coming up.
Yeah.
And, you know, there was that bit of a fight, like, you know, as
So that's when the transition was coming.
coming.
Wasn't it? Yeah,
and he did it. I think he was the best decision. Yeah, he did it. But I was more thinking, I was selfish then and going, nah, me, because it was junior and amateur then with the Irish, so we could play both. Once you played AUL football, you could play both.
Play both.
But when you play at Leinster, you could only play amateur.
Yeah.
So that's how we got all my caps. So I says, no, I'm staying. Like.
I think a lot of players did stick around for that reason,
yeah.
didn't they? Like, well, not a lot, but some
lads that were in it.
They stuck
and
around.
that's how we went to Kevin's,
reason.
like with Jerry. Well, Jerry Davis, the coach then, I was like, oh yeah, I like this, but to me, like, and that's no disrespect to Kevin's, like, we had probably one of the best teams there, like in senior football, and we won the Leinster Junior, being the league. But even like they moved us off the pitch. I remember, I'll never forget it. Like the year when they have their Easter tournament, and we were playing Sheriff in the quarterfinals, semi-5 in the FUI, and they moved us out to Harstown, Hunstown on a Sunday night
for the schoolboys to play,
to keep the pitch for that Easter tournament. They had Barcelona. You can understand it, but they never had the Astro back down there, so we had to play out in Harstown Hunts. I think it was 5 o'clock on a Sunday evening. The FUI Junior Cup, like, and it just didn't sit well with me. Yeah, you know, I was like, you know, I was captain. I was like, this is wrong. This is wrong. You know, and that's their culture. Yeah, and that's when, in fairness, I went over to Crum before I signed, and I went in, and Crum Martin, you know, he pulled you out the back of the cage where the grass is and all, and he'd Wayne Bourne next while it's turned up loads. I shit myself. I was like, I'm not getting in here. And then Martin goes, I did 2 sessions and I'd never signed from then. I should have. It was the wrong thing I did. And then Killester, even at Kevin's, he rang me. He says, I want you to come. And it was great that I went, like, gave it a shot. Like, it was brilliant over there.
It was brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah, it was lovely over in Crumlin. Like, it was just, you know it. Like, it's like Killester.
Family.
It's a family
club.
You just fitted right in. There was no shy. Everyone looked after you. Martin was brilliant like that. I just took him straight away because he was like Joey Graydon. Yeah. Old fashioned. There was didn't want to tell you, oh well, Martin, why am I dropped? He wouldn't. You're fucking dropped. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's you could have an argument for 3 hours and he'd still, and he can be wrong, but he still tell you, I'm right. Yeah. You know, but you never, a lot of players, I went to him once or twice and asked him, like, what's the story? Like, and he just says, no, you have to wait your time. Like, yeah. Because that's, even my second game, I only played, first one was against Tog, we won 4-3, and I was faulted 3 goals. And second game, I think we drew out my side. It was fault for 2 of them or something. And the third game, he dropped me. And he says, you need to get fair. I'm like, going, what? He says, you need to get fair, sharper, feet, the whole lot. This is a different level. I was like flabbergasted.
Yeah, oblivious.
And he left me out, like, for a couple of games. Like.
So come from captain of Kevin's of the Crumlin, be told that you're not fit enough, sharp enough, so...
Yeah, it gives you a boost, like it does. It drills you on, like, because you're playing with good players, like, so you know, that's, Joey was good at telling you when you were wrong. Martin was very good at it. Yeah. No, you're not up there, like, because as the players, we always think, even when we're playing, now we're playing bad, you always tell us to have the comments going, I'm still good enough to play in this team. That's
how many leagues did you win with Killester?
We won, I think, 5
leagues
over that, yeah.
And then everything else, you just won everything in the
the Junior
AUL
Cup,
possible.
everything, Liddy Cup, you know, we won all them trophies, you know, and that's what I said, like, they're the first ones, all my Leinster League ones are not in the cabinet, it's all my AUL ones, like, you know, that I have put up, like, but that's like, then won the Leinster Junior with Kevin's, and that was their first trophy in 10 years,
right?
Since they won the Junior Cup.
He's done well in the senior cups as well. Didn't you get
we got to the quarterfinals out in with Sligo. That was my first year.
Was that an Inchicore?
We got the replay. Now the first game was up in Sligo. It was 0-0. They had your man Singe Keith Foy play for them. Right. Coleman, I think, played at that stage. He was only young, like. Yeah. And then that's how, even in that game, Alan Murphy marked your man because we was a flyer. And about 70 minutes in, like, you're playing up in Sligo, big pitch, Joey made the change, bring Darren Murphy, and he called me. I thought I was coming off. He says, lovely. He says, no, you're going wing back. I was like, what? What did playing 70 minutes? Just rumbling him. You know, and I know it's fast, but like, it kept me running, stopping and all that. I was like, knackered. I remember I was going, because in fairness to Killester, they brought everyone up. It was a Saturday game. Booked the hotel, and we were there. Great night. Brilliant. I remember going to bed, like, early, like, you know, wrecked. And then we did a replay in Tolka Park on the Wednesday. And we brought them to extra time, 5-4.
Oh, it was Tolga Park, that's where it was. I remember going and watching. Yeah, great crowd.
We should have beaten them.
You should have,
you know, and that's what I said, like, so we had great runs and that, like. Yeah. And that's what I even said to my players at Kilbarrack 3 weeks ago when we played Finn Harps. Enjoy it, like, they don't come around, like. Yeah,
I was seeing the clip of that, bit of controversy over that. Was there? Did you see the clip, did you?
Yeah, I seen it. Yeah,
I think if we were probably 2 or 3 weeks back previous to, but I didn't want to bring the lads back and burn them out because we finished late enough. It was a long season, like we had a long year, like, you know, and that's the sad part. I think, and Derek was missing that night as well. He was away on holidays, but I wasn't changing it. We just went with it, like, you know, and we should have getting something out. But I'm glad it's over. You've played in them because you can, if you go on and it takes your mindset, like, and now we're in the top league. I just want the concentration on that because it's because them games are on next week. Yeah, and I didn't want to be distracted away going because that's our plan. Like, you know, we're
out of all your medals and trophies, what one stands out for you? What's the pinnacle like?
I think I'd say the Regents Cup one is, in terms of that one we won.
That was over here, was it?
Yeah, in 2015. We lost the final in 2013. I played in that. We lost the final to Portugal, I think it was, or Spain. And I think actually one of their players went on and signed for Braga after. Like, but it was like 35-degree heat, you know, stuff that my family were there. And then 2015, in fairness, you know, nobody played with Ting, and I played all the qualifiers. I didn't play in the games, I played in one of them. But it meant a lot to me because the boys won it, like, because I was part of that journey for 12 years. Like, we did the treble. I did the treble with Crumlin that year. And I was like, you know, myself, and it's just was like, I'm not doing the treble and that. I'm not playing the 3 games in the qualifiers a couple of months previous. Did a treble with Crumlin coming out of the Aviva after beating Tolka in the Intermediate Cup final. Like, you know, I think that's a highlight of the career, like playing in that final, like, you know, and the Aviva, like. But the Regions ones, like, because they don't come around that often, and you know, I have a runners up one, I have a winners one.
When did the international when did that kick off for you? Where you with Killester?
Yeah, but only when it kicked in when it Killester, yeah, only kicked in there when it was at Killester. That's when they start kicking. It was like that. It was hard, and I think Johnny Carroll got injured. I never played right full, and Jerry would have played 4-4-2 at that time, but that's how it happened. And once I got in, it was steady. And you know, it took me a couple of years, was in and out, because he had Chalky, he had Paul McCabe, and he had Brino, like, he had good centre halves.
They had good, strong centre halves,
and it was very hard. And you know, like, if you're on the bench, the last person that's coming on is centre half. You know, where you're flexing, you can play right full, left full, midfield. You could even play centre. You know what I mean? And you know, you're going, well, I'm going to get a chance.
I could get on here. Yeah.
Well, you know, when you're on these trips and you're away for 2 weeks, like, and you know, you couldn't be getting a sniff, like. And that's the international football.
And that's what international football is about. And it's ruthless, isn't it? It's hard because you're giving up work and you're giving up family time, and you go and you're not getting paid.
No.
Let's face it. And you go in, and if you're not starting, you're like, right, hopefully get on. If you're not starting, you could go over to a tournament and come back with no minutes.
Yeah. And that's what says a player. That's it. You're sitting around. I've seen the other side of it now after being on Jerry's team a couple of months ago. Like, you know, the younger lads, and, you know, they're getting bored with it. Like, they were, just sitting around. Is this it?
Yeah.
It's, you know, 2 weeks in Spain, you know, and great facilities, and it's your way for people, and all your way for delegates around, and pulling people in for drug tests, and you know, that's the tournament, and that's what goes on the real life. And I was like, enjoy it. Like, what I seen on this side of it, because in the management, I was knackered every night because you're doing stuff for the player. You just sit back and watch DVDs and, you know, go training when you have to, like. But it was brilliant, like, for the years of that, like, we were everywhere, like.
Yeah, you got a long one, like, to get 54 caps, you said, is it, Ross?
Yeah, between the junior and amateurs,
like, it's a long international career.
Any goals in there this time?
I think of 3.
What's the feeling like?
My first one was actually here when we did a qualifier. We played San Marino. I think we had to win the last game out in Tala. That was actually before 2013. Yeah, because the finals were on Spain. I actually scored against San Marino. I even, like, Kilbarrack and I was playing, like,
what a man.
What sort of, what else was going to ask, what other players, like, obviously Git, like, the quality of
Git. That's it,
you're
Danny Loughran, like, you're lad done, like, you know, the thing, you're Lacey, even, they could play more house, the Canes, like, my first actually thing, like, was, my first one was in Scotland. My family and I come over, like, Paul Kane played, Ado MacDonald. You know, then kind of players, like, you know.
He was with Portmarnock, wasn't he?
Brilliant. I was rumouring, like, you know, mad. Like, you know, we even still talk to this story.
Paulie is actually, when we had Paulie and Davey on, Paulie says he got on really well with Ado as well,
my first my first trip, I had to room him, and I'm telling you, we actually, my uncle's communion was there a couple of weeks ago in the Betsy, and he lives out there in SARS, and he arrived there when he's missing, he's over, you know, a few drinks, and he wouldn't lace me boots, you know, to my whole family. I was like, here we go.
Paulie said that he said when Paulie was kind of fading out of the international setup, he knew he wasn't going to be playing or whatever, and he said Ado was the same in the international setup, and he started feeling he was getting faded out, and It was the
I was the younger
squad.
fella.
You were the younger.
Yeah.
I was the younger fella, and he did the thing and all. He always said that you were the younger lad, and I brought you through. You know, he keeps telling me,
He's your mentor and all.
he
Yeah,
mentor. I mean, great trips, like, but you play with, like, even Bruno played then, like, but you Beef and God, you have Adrian from Carrick, you know, Lee Murphy, you know, they all played there. Like,
no, they're
great winger, leaving country lads that are knocking about still. Like, and then as you go older, like, you James Lee, you Lar Dunn, you Ken Howie's, like, it was an unbelievable squad. Then 2013, I knew straight away after that, I said, we'll win the next one.
Yeah,
because it's something that they built for 10 years when I was there, and you can feel it stepping and stepping.
It was getting better and better.
Getting better and better, and then Jerry coming in and changing it to a diamond.
Yeah,
it just suited the likes of Wacker Dunn, just going into the six and just playing it into them and pinning it everywhere. You had Laird on the other side, just runners.
Yeah,
and as I said, there wasn't really technically great players. A lot of the lads weren't. We just worked hard, like they knew the system, knew how to play. You'd Ray Whelan.
Yeah, well, it's what you need, isn't it? International, it's a system, and you have to play it. And it's regimental, and it has to be. But there, you have runners there with the likes of Ray Whelan, Laird Dunn, and all like them. Them two boys will run ball day for you.
Like you had that at Killester. Like you had a few lads at West as well that were like good runners, like as well. But we had a lot of that at Killester. We were just fit, you know. And that's what I built even Kilbarrack on. Like it's just fitness, like.
So the cross the road walk kind of fire Ross from Kevin's to Crumlin, was it? Yeah.
And
how did that materialise with Martin?
It was in fairness, Martin had chased me for a few years because he used to come on the Irish trips, and there used to be a few of the boys there. He used to have great crack with them, hitting all the boys, you know.
He had that pull, didn't he? Because he was Leinster senior manager, he was Crumlin manager,
and he had the pull, like, and he just it's time now. And you know what? I loved it. It was brilliant. It was like that. It was a family club, but they just a knack of winning.
Yeah.
Just bought into it, like they just played like that. Players, you'd Kramer, like you'd Paul McKay beside you that was involved with, you know, you build a friendship with these lads. You had the friendship with, you know, you had lads like Carl Redmond, I think it was, left full, like, and he doesn't even look like a player, but what an unbelievable player.
You just went unbeaten, did you? Went in the treble, was it?
We went unbeaten. Ross wasn't.
I
didn't play with Crumlin. Ross. We went unbeaten in the league. I don't think you didn't go unbeaten in the league. No, I think we were the only ones to do it in senior Sunday.
Yeah,
thought you were doing that.
Yeah, that's sad. So like that, like he just has a knack. You're looking at players leaving at the time when I came in. I don't know who left, but then he was bringing in 3 or 4 of me and a few other lads, like same with you, and it was just it was a door, like, just kept going.
I said it as soon as I went over there. I've never seen a club to have a turnover of so many players, like in it that come like in and out of the club constantly, and just quality leaves and just quality just comes straight back in.
It's mad, like, and that's a said, like, and then you go and you just grasp it and you just bought into it.
There's something about the place. Oh, sorry for cutting across you, but it's not even what I just said there. They just have this winning mentality, they're winners. But it's not as if someone's coming over to you and saying, right here at Crumlin, you need to win. As soon as you go over, it's an energy. You just feel it, and it's like
it's the old type, and I think that's hard to get back. That's what I mean. Even with Joey, Martin's the exact same. I knew Pete Lennon because I played under him, like with the Irish team when he took a playoff. Like, it was just no one said nothing. Martin never said to me, "You're coming here to win." He never said that to me, or "I want you to win." Just come.
Yeah.
But you knew as you walk in, you just get this aura about you, like, going, and you do stuff. I remember before a few training sessions, go, I don't want to look shit here, like, you know. I'm coming from the AOL, so it was a big talk, like, and I remember playing tag in my first game, and they'd brophy up top, and
big handful,
you know, giving all this, coming up from the AOL, you won't like it over here, the physical, and it did. It took me back then first 2 games. I remember going, what the fuck am I to get myself in for?
A level up,
like, because you think you train pre-season with the boys, you think, oh, grand. When you're playing the other teams, it's a different level up, like.
And every team is good. Every team.
You know, and that's why I remember we won that game, and midweek to going out to Wayside and going, this would be easy 3 points, you know, grand. I never knew what Wayside was or what thing. Fucking bashed us off the park, or we got out with a draw.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's them days are missing in the Leinster League. I think it'll be back in a couple of years. The likes of Finglas and even Kilbarrack, the younger lads come up. It's going to take that time to get that quality up. But like Crumlin was just Crumlin. Like, it was just.
Who was coach over there then?
I think he did. Paul Martin was there. I think he Deco Heavey then on stage. There was a few different ones.
Yeah.
And I always knew, it says, even when, you know, it's, I know probably James didn't mind me saying, I won't say the coach, there was been arguments, like, and then within a week or a couple of days.
Changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, where's he gone?
Yeah.
Are he gone?
Yeah.
They don't
come.
Yeah.
You know, ruthless,
100%,
like.
yeah.
And there was no questions, like, because in fairness, Martin always wanted the players to want, you know, that's what he looked at.
If you went to Martin and said, look, listen, I don't think that's good, I don't think, he'd correct it.
Yeah.
If he knows that the players are feeling it, he'd
I remember it happened, and he took training one night, and this thing, right? He did this square, and I always say to people when people talk, it's like Joey Graydon taking training. They shouldn't take training.
Yeah.
It's fucking brutal.
Let the man just manage.
Oh, brutal he was. And he had this square. There's one lad up there, one up there, one on the side, like stuff you do now, like you're coaching. And he let everyone kick lumps out of each other. I'm going, man, what's going on? Yeah, no, we just do it this way. And the passengers, and I was like, oh, this is mad. And he said, this only till the new coach comes in. I said, too, right? But he just,
he's done it. I was over there. He done one training session, Martin did. And the same, he'd even tell you himself, can't put a training session on, but he actually fell over. He'll remember this. I still have a little joke to this day. He tried to do a demonstration and knocked the ball back, and you have to kind of backpedal backwards. But he fell over in slow motion.
That's the sad. Like, but what I loved about it even was the match days, and that's how we picked it up from him. Like there was no, making you feel pressure. You go in the dressing room, it was nice and calm, it was all this and go, right lads, it's
always a good dressing room.
You know, don't care about them, like, you know, and they were brilliant, like Crumlin, the main team, like I don't care about Togo who they have and vice versa. It's about us, grand, that's the team. And you wouldn't, like, and he doesn't even look at you, like, in nowadays I'd be looking at players to try and have a look at them, because the younger lads are totally different built from their days.
Different, yeah.
Totally different. Between everything, like, you know, what goes on in their lives, and I think that's where the struggles are, where we just loved playing football.
Exactly. We said it before, didn't we, on this kind of topic. I think, like, Air era was the last era of that.
Oh, yeah.
Era of footballers, like, now it's completely
even, you
different.
know, you've done it, we've all done it. I can't go away then. I have a match.
Yeah.
Now it's the questions of who we playing. Can we
what
change that?
Are we playing?
What night we playing?
Of a festival weekend, it's on Friday to Sunday.
Yeah. I forgot to tell you.
Yeah.
She's at the Wednesday weekend away.
Yeah.
You know, that were like, I moved my wedding around, so I made sure it was back for pre-season. You know, stuff like that. It's all changed, and you have to actually. It took me a couple of weeks in Kilbarrack when I would go back to, but just even that, just to get used to people texting you, I won't be there tonight. I won't be there. Like I said, I used to get in my car. I live in Ballymun, the IKEA now. I used to get in and drive across, even when I was injured, to Martin, and still train and say nothing. Yeah. Turn up and then I say, oh Martin, I'm injured. Like he used to do a buzzer. I copped onto that after a while, because he used to always come in 20 minutes. He was the king of it. Oh Martin, is the physio in there? I'll go in there. But I used to do it. But that was the drive. Like that days. Them lads
don't turn up at all. Like I do on the Saturday sort of Montpellier. The last text in, won't be there. There's no excuse.
No excuse.
Yeah, but if you in the message, and so once person sees that, they all say, well, he's not turning up, I'm not turning up. And it's a fucking knock on.
I think I changed pretty quick now after a few weeks in Kilbarrack, and I was like going, right, and now the lads will tell you, I just give them a thumbs up. And my motto is with them, you will actually put yourselves out.
100%, yeah.
That's the way they're looking at it.
That's the way they, and they know, because no one comes knocking to me like asking, you know, one or two more you can go that have been there in the sub the last few weeks, but I had a different 11 in every game last year.
Never started the same.
Never started the same 11.
And was that down to people not turning up training, or just
as well, performances,
Injuries,
people away, injuries, you know, so the different 18, different 11 every game.
You're lucky enough then you had the depth of squad there to have
we've 25, 20,
as
you
said,
need it.
You need it to win any league. You need
back
a
down with Crumlin, you didn't need that.
Yeah,
you had 18 because everyone rolled in. Like you did it at Wefter, like, you know, in the boxing, and you know. But what the problem was, if I could text you say, I'm not feeling tonight, you'll say, get up, the fucking up, I'm picking you up.
Exactly, yeah.
And we're going training.
Let's
10
go.
days are gone. There's just, you know, when lads are feeling down, they'll feel down and go, oh, I'm not going football.
Yeah.
Well, if you want, obviously, a lot of people say, your mates are letting you down. So get on your mate from the hill. He's not turning up though.
Yeah.
Lads, be ringing, where are you tonight? Some people just on the gaggle or whatever.
But even that, like, you would have learned how to drive early. Yeah. I learned, like, you fight for yourself. When, you know, when I was 16, 17, when they moved out of Ballymun, my man moved us out, grand, and down. But I was driving and all, my full licence by 18. The lads like, oh, can I get a lift?
Yeah.
Can we get this? Can
we
get
get
that?
Electric scooter.
That's the same, but it's just totally changed. It really is. It's draining. Management now is draining. And I always remember Martin saying on Joey Graydon, going, I could see the change. But even with Crumlin was just Crumlin. You know, you go back after win the league. I think we won the league won the nights up in Sacred Heart. I think Talca lost. Were you playing with Talca then?
No, I went back to Wefta then. Yeah, that year.
I think that was the year we won the treble, and we had them in the
right,
intermediate cup final as well. Like, you know,
messed up a little bit.
And I like Townie's one of my players, and I always say to him, I had nightmares the night before. I was sweating in the bed going to the Aviva Stadium and going, this big pitch, we don't have the pace anymore. He's there, Shane Hughes, and I'm going, oh my God. And I always like him and say, he's just foiling the
dominate,
playing, you know.
Dominate. Was it 4-1, was it? That
4-0, yeah.
4-0.
That's what I said, like, you had Craig Morehouse that just came out of nowhere. Martin just pulls these gems out. That's what I never
knew who Craig Morehouse was, and I think I was with O'Devney. I went out Devney for a season or two, and we played Crumlin in the Tommy Clements final. Remember out in the
well, I played in that. Yeah,
you
that's
played
right,
that day.
Yeah.
James, you played that day. Danny Loughlin played that day. But Morehouse, I didn't know who Morehouse was, but obviously hearing people calling him or whatever, and he banged into it, and he was brilliant.
Played in that game as well, actually.
Yeah, you would. Yeah,
you would have played in that. Yeah, because you was on move then. That's right.
Yeah, we went with Chandler over to Devney, but he was brilliant. And then that season, then he just fucking kicked off and just took the league on by storm.
And that's what I mean, but every year he had a little gem, like a little player,
someone
like you would have having them like just coming out from the schoolboys, like. And in fairness, that's what Kilbarrack had. They did a lot of good 19s coming up, and I remember even seeing Derek with the 19s. It was only a few weeks in, and I said, "Jeez, I'd like to look at him, bring him up." You know, I said to Brian, "Come on, we bring him up," like, and all of a sudden he's just taken off, like.
This the centre forward,
you know, that's Dennis Hoyland's nephew.
Is he right? Is Dennis still involved down there?
No, he's not. No, the family all are like that. Always him. But that's what I said. Like, there was 6 out of that 19s are still with me. Like, you know, that's but they're very hard to come by. Like,
really hard. We the team we had with Wefta, I was trying to actually count today. I think when that year we kind of challenged you to everything, Ross, we came second years at everything. I think we had about 11 players that played schoolboy with Wefta in one squad. 11, 12 players in one squad that played schoolboy football with Wefta. And now people aren't really getting that. Like you say, you have 6 there. That's even unbelievable now to have 6 players to come from schoolboy. I think with Crumlin 2 years ago, I mean with Jamesy 4th season, I think. Second season, 4th season, 7 starters and 4 lads on the bench that played for Crumlin schoolboy. Like, so to be able to have that is brilliant.
Yeah,
and it's rare.
Oh, it's rare, very rare. And that's what I said. It's, as you said, it's having a big squad. Like, it's very rare. Like, and the lads to buy into it.
Yeah,
that's the difference. Like, if you don't have lads to buy into it, forget about it. I don't think I would manage because I think it'd actually drive me mad. Because it drives me mad, but I'm getting rewards out of it.
Yeah.
If I wasn't getting rewards out of it, you'd be like, going, is it worth it? Like, is this worth it doing it? Because you thought all other managers around the league and they'd walk away from it or they'll switch clubs and go, just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
Where before you'd never see managers leaving clubs. You never. There's a lot of that happening.
So what your career injury wise? You said you done your ACL.
Yeah, I did it when I moved to Moctus because I know Martin's a stickler, and I had a great conversation with him. I think that's what I said. We won the Regents Cup that year. Did the treble with Crumlin. And Martin just came to me and said, I'm signing Nowley Murray. You know, you're 33. You know, he's had this conversation with a lot of players, so it wasn't only me. Like, I remember he had it with Paulie McCabe when I came in. So he's had these conversations. He doesn't like a certain age, and it's funny. And I says, look, I've done it for the last 3 years, back and forward, you know, with kids, like, I've 2 kids now. And he says, no, I still want you, like, but you mightn't play every week. You know, and I know Brian for years, even outside of football, like, you know, I knew him through business and everything else, and he just said to me, you coming back across? I says, yeah. And I think Jerry had moved to Killester after we won the Regents, and there was a lot of talk about all these players going, and you know what, I says, I don't want to go back there. I says, I've done me Killester stint, like, I've done it, like. And then fair, Brian persuaded me to thing, and then Grand the first year was alright. Moctus was like, they only came up, but you're playing like with Carlo, like, and Crockett, like, at that time, they're at the height of that thing. You know, you had Nelly right for the you know, from Talca, and you know, you had good, really strong players.
They got a good core of players.
Yeah, and
from
then he
Talca.
and they did
what
what Kilbarrack have done, like. And then the first year was grand. I don't think we won that. And the second year, then we won the league, and the night out there and Wayside, like, they're the days you never forget.
That was close because Crumlin and Bluebell were challenging for that.
Each other.
I was out watching Crumlin
and
and Bluebell.
Crumlin were down to 10 men. And we had to win by 4 goals. Like, like, actually, that year then, Dean Kelly signed, Alan McGreal signed. I played with him at thing. Because I said to Brian, he moved over that way, get him. Like, he says, he's the difference of winning the league. Lacey signed. You know, you had Shane Hughes, like, but you, like,
some squad that.
You had Carlo. Just frightening. That man is frightening. That's just, he could not train for 4 weeks and just come out and produce it.
Yeah.
And it's what I always say to people. There's people that always got away with. He was one that probably didn't train as much. Buzzer Rowe was another one used to do my head in, like, you know, that going, never trains, but you know what, you put it to the side because what they do on the match day is different.
Of course.
You know, and that's what I said, and then we won the league on that night, like, you never forget that, like, and people shouting at you, it's like, you see the stuff in the championship, and you know, when they come up, and that goal is at them relegating them, or could be put them in, you just hear the noise, like, in constant, you need another goal, you need another one, like, you know, it was 2-0 at that stage, like, and I always remember the ball came over the top and said, just don't leak, and the keeper never came, so I sort of knocked it past your man caught me in the knee, and I felt a snap. It's like,
It was the last game of the season you done it?
Yeah, but it just was about 60 minutes in, the Wayside game, and I'm looking going, I felt the snap, like, have you done as a race yet?
No.
I felt it, you felt, that's what it is a snap. But then the sort of pain went, you know, the physio came on, was grand, I was like, oh, what? And again, me screaming shit, I screamed, because Owen Murphy was doing the game, he says, yeah, all right, I says, I'm at the feeling a snap. So I went down the side and the game still went on, and I says, no, I can run. I played on.
Yeah, adrenaline.
Adrenaline got me through when we won it, like, but I woke up the next day, my knee, and I think it was actually standing for my knee, so I had to stand for it in a confirmation or something. So I was wearing a pair of shorts because I couldn't get my jeans on in the thing, like, and I just ended up going. But they didn't diagnose me. They didn't do an MRI then, so I only knew when I went back, like, going, this is not right, it's killing me.
So you just left it?
You left it, and your man, the physio, go, no, you'd be grand. 2 months later, I went and got a scan. It was ruptured. Like,
right.
Yeah, ruptured. But that sort of did me. That was it. I was like 34, 35. I was like, right, I'm at the win another league here. Like, but there won't that night. And the mocked us, like, even just with Carlo's dad and the dad passing away. It was just made. You never forget it. Like, and you're standing around, and that game was still going on at Crumlin. There's a chance of someone else down there. And Dave Marn had the shittiest fucking cup ever, because he thought the cup was going to end up over with Crumlin or Bluebell. But one of them, like, it was the shittiest cup ever, like, after winning, but we didn't care.
Yeah.
You know, and they're the days you never forget, like, you know.
Memories, isn't it?
Oh, unbelievable, like.
Was that match there, you were playing for Killester and you clashed with Fran Matthews, was it?
Oh, the
head injury.
Oh, the head injury, yeah, that
was
broke.
That was so bad, yeah.
And,
that was
Harry Corbett, I think, and Fran, the two of us collided, yeah, it broke me.
Playing together, you were, yeah?
Yeah, broke me jaw, my cheekbone, and my eye socket, so I still have the scar there and there. So yeah, it was awful.
Who was that against?
Sheriff.
Was it a final?
In the AOL.
Yeah, no, it was a semis. The ball just bounced. And that's the only thing I remember is just the ball bounced. And I remember, actually, my daughter.
And he's a lump as well, Fran, isn't he? Strong
lad.
He
was just whatever way he pushed him, I think, into me, or just because the ball bounced and I was going. And I just always remember waking up in the hospital. And there's always a story about, because my wife and my mum were away. I think it was actually we were due to get married. And my daughter was there with my uncle. He brought him up, so he brought her up. We arrived in Bournemouth, wheeled in on the chair, like, sitting there, you know, days there, was getting sick and all. And next of all, I said to him, man, I'm going to get sick. So he was in the cube, and there was a loud lady sitting eating a sandwich, sitting up, and he moved me around, and I just went all over me. Mum and the wife was sitting there going, what the fuck? You know, but it was panic stations, because I was like bleeding, and I was bringing it down, and I was panicking, like, but yeah, the broken jaw to be moved out. I was in hospital for a few days, then moved out to Michael's, but it was just a freak accident.
Any plates or anything?
Yeah, no, still out there, all around my face, and down on my jaw,
Jesus, was that like surgery and everything?
And then I was with Killester. I mean, my mum actually arrived at a game one day, because I went off and I got a mask. So I think when Ballymoor were actually playing well, Ballymoor had won everything then with Casey that year.
Yeah, they got the treble.
And the bet was in 2 semi-finals, and then 2 semi-finals are coming up, and I said to Joey, I'm playing them. So I went off and got a mask, told no one. Next time my mum heard about it. She was riding the AOL on the main pitch. Joey, get him off! I'm telling you now, get him off! And I threw the mask off, because it was annoying me. Get up! I said, I'm not coming off. So Joey goes, he won't come off. You fucking more than I was. And she killed me, because she says, you don't want to have the operation. I said, be grand if you're alright, you know what I mean? But that's what I did. Like,
but we even spoke about it when we probably bring it up nearly every podcast, but that's the obsession that you're saying there. Obsession with winning, your obsession with football, and your obsession with amateur football. Like we were obsessed. Like I was even like obsessed with teams, Killester teams, Sheriff teams, and all. He plays for that. Yeah,
you knew you were playing on that week.
You knew who you were playing, but you knew everybody. You used to meet them out in the AOL, play against them out in the AOL, and it's down to an obsession.
And that's what I said. Even with the Oscar trainer, I think I won 5. Oscar trainers, like, but your dad lads, like, you think you played
Played,
as well
yeah.
with me, and
Got
you know what I
beaten
mean.
in
But
the
it
sense.
used to be enjoyable because it used to take you away from,
Yeah.
and people
yeah.
get to see the other side of you.
I looked at it, well, we were flying
The
up to
AWL.
Donegal now. We were
That's
geez,
the
staying
same.
out
we
there,
went,
yeah.
That's the
we
same.
flew
That's
up
the
to
same.
the
But it was
north,
like
yeah.
it was good then because people wanted to be at the best, like, and that was
Yeah.
the way in to say the Irish thing, or even the next best thing to it. Because even the Oscar trainers finished now, and it's a pity, like, because
But now representative level for Leinster Senior and AUL isn't even an accomplishment.
No.
Accomplishment.
yeah,
Good man out.
Accomplishment. Back then it was like,
Yeah.
I remember getting called up to the AUL. I was like, oh fucking hell.
That's
Well, after
great.
watching the AUL team play
Yeah.
all the time and looking at the star and the target and all, and then when you finally get it, you're like, oh, this is fucking great. And it was brilliant.
yeah.
But it's just completely gone now. It's at the fade now where a representative
Mm.
call up wouldn't be, unless it's the international.
Training sessions do as well, because obviously it's the best players in the league. Like,
Yeah,
the
and then
training
you
sessions
got
are unbelievable.
coaches,
Yeah,
like, that's
yeah.
like
And
Bob
Paul
Martin,
Martin
like,
and
you know,
Dermot
what
Wilkins
Gravy
was the
says and
manager,
all,
yeah,
and like, but
yeah.
he made it always fun.
How damn was good.
Like,
Yeah.
that's what I said. That's what me and Dan was brilliant. Like, but it was like it was all ball, like, and you enjoyed it because you get away from your own club at Killester, running, and then you get all the ball. Like, but it was like that's what I said. Like, and we all hated each other.
Yeah.
But in that, like, when it came, it was just people just wanted to win, and people didn't give a shit. Like, oh, I don't like him, but you still play with him.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
mad.
I got in later on in my career, like, was OB was the manager. But this when Sheriff and Kilbarrack were like going for it and all, and they used to give Kilbarrack
Who were
some
you
stick.
at the
It was
time?
with Wefty, like,
Wefty.
used to give them some stick over and all that.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
were sitting in a secret up after and all.
It was,
really
probably half Sheriff and half Killester or
Yeah,
Kilbarrack in
that's
the
what it was,
team
yeah.
at that
That's
stage.
sad,
Kilbarrack lads never said a word. The Sheriff lads being going around bleeding, swinging Mickeys around the place.
But that's what I said. Yeah, but that's but back in there, everyone used to talk. There was no
Yeah.
split
Look,
or that like that.
We'd be battling it out
Yeah.
week to week, like, and then you get into the
Yeah.
AOL squad and you're just playing with them like they're
Yeah.
normal teammates.
And that's it.
Which
Like,
was great.
It's totally changed. Even when I was down there, Brian asked me in with the Leinster at that tournament that was down in Cork there a couple of months ago, like, and then Ulster pulled out like that week, like, it was 3 teams, and you're looking going, really, like,
Yeah.
you know,
Pull
it's-
out. Like, how did he pull out? Like,
But that's what I said. I remember even I played with Crumlin and Martin Ramey, and I think Gary Howler had the team, and it was on up the north, and Martin Ramey, I was moving. We actually bought the house where we are now, and Martin goes, "Oh, he's at the ring, and someone's at the letting him down. Will he go in?" We dropped everything and said,
Straight away.
"Well, we're not moving tomorrow." I said, "Why?" That was on the Thursday night. She goes, "Why?" I says, "Because I have to go. We're meant to get called into the squad, like."
Yeah.
You know, so I walked around O'Neill at the time, so it was grand for me to go in and get a tracksuit and everything
Yeah,
else. So
yeah.
it was, but that's them days. If someone think, "I know I'm going away tomorrow,"
Yeah.
that's the total different. That's what I can see around. Like, as you said, you manage Saturday football. I know even it's hard even at where I am, but that has to be mad, even worse on a Saturday. I always say I've hated always pre-season as a player, hated it like that because you get 10 up by you just this. and
Yeah,
that,
it's
and
a
your lads are
messy
just-
time,
it's
isn't
a
it?
messy. I even hate it as a manager, and you have to go through it. Like,
Yeah, I used to worry every pre-season, no matter what club I was at. I used to have like a bit of a fear because I'd be going, right, there's a new player coming up, but where's all the rest of the good players? He's not here. Where's he?
Yeah.
Is he away? Is he with a different club? Like, almost afraid saying, what are we going to have at the start of the season?
yeah,
here?
it's
And
a silly season, isn't it?
particularly up at Wefta, it used to get at me more so because that was their club, that was my
Yeah.
team. I wanted to do. I
and
wanted
it's
to win
probably-
everything with
but a
Wefta.
lot of them were your mates. That's what I said, and you probably didn't push it enough.
Yeah.
To know, this is bollocks, lads.
Mm.
And you'll probably say to Nelson, "No, what the fuck are you
Yeah.
going away for? Stay." And that's what I always felt with Wefta was were too pally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why he didn't push one another. He was afraid to fall out with someone. They're all still mates to the day. And that's why I always say, where the Killester and Crumlin, none of that. Like, I always said to people, I don't go to clubs to be pally. You get 2 or 3 friends out of each one.
of
Everyone
course.
moves on. And I always say to my lads, you can leave this Astro now. That clubhouse and the Kilbarrack crest doesn't change.
Yeah.
Players will come and thing, but nothing changes here. It's like Crumlin, nothing changes. Like,
You said the lot of lads that be forgotten about.
yeah.
As you said, they'll have no name, but they go around thinking that the dog's bollocks.
100%. Like, and that's why I always go back and I always say about Wefta, you could have won everything.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean, because I always said that. I even say it to Ray a lot, and that's what I said. You were always pally with each other. You know what I mean? There was no, I said, "Oh, Nelson, what are you going away for again?"
Yeah. Like, realistically, we are, after that year, we challenged you with everything, coming second, beating in all the finals. That next year, could have been the year where we won the next cup or won the Pip Juice for the league, and
you were all getting headhunted then. You were all good players, and it's first 5 will ring you, 6 people ring you, and they all wanted you.
Yeah, and that's what happened. You went to Killester, I ended up going down to Tolga, and we split. Kenno went to Tolga, Crockett, me and Crockett went to Tolga, and it just split.
As I said, if you won a cup there, they probably wouldn't have said, well, sure, we're winning things here. So the attraction to go to a club is trophies.
Exactly.
And that's what happened even with Killester. I know it was like, I stayed at Killester. I know I always said that Joey, because Joey, I remember telling Joey I was actually staying AOL, like I'm staying with Kevin's. And he says, I hope it doesn't work out for you. He did, out straight. There's no out straight. He says, I don't care. He says, I hope it doesn't thing. But I always said to him, says, I stuck around last year, the year before, I think it was 2 years previous, when Lacey, Davo, Keith Dunwood, I went up to Tolga. Al Connors and all, they all went up there, like, but they were back a couple of months later because they didn't like it. They couldn't function.
It was a different dressing room where I noticed that what you were at the being speaking about there, calling Killester a family, calling Crumlin a family. Yeah. As much as I had a great times at Tolga on 2 spells I was there, and they were a great club, but it didn't have that in the dressing room, that family kind of orientated kind of thing. At that time.
And that's what I said. But even with Crumlin, used to go back around the pub. Killester used to go into the bar. And Joey always made sure there was stuff on at Halloween, Christmas, was all family orientated. You know, everyone drank, like, where nowadays lads just get that gear, they don't even turn up with a towel anymore.
They don't
just come up with their boots in the hand now, like, and the sock shorts, and just rock in and gone out.
No, I was up with Fingers lads there a couple of years ago. And I'll be in the shower after training on the shoes, and I'll just, anyone coming in?
No, last one in the showers are on.
But it's gas, like, and all the young fellas, like, it's like, they don't even put the get the gear and just play and go home. Nothing going.
Oh my God! They go to Jolly Tober and big monkey legs in them.
But it's a man that always make sure we go down the corner, lads. There's food there, you know, and just even for the Lucas side, like, you know, and that. But Killester always had it, like, and that's, as you said, the family clubs, like Kilbarrack have a family club because it's probably the people in the background run it as well. The pub isn't there at the moment. We try and do it, but it's just as it keeps going back, it's totally changed. It's how it's flipped.
And I don't think there's much we can do about it. I don't think you can drag them old times back and put them into play, because football evolves, everybody evolves, and it just goes different.
I think there's more, like, and I know a lot of people use the mental health thing, but back in their day, that was never taught.
No,
never thought about. Like, used to are great mates. Like, you wouldn't have gone to him. Like, do you know what I mean? Everyone's just you just know when someone's on a bad day, but now it's just constantly, because it's everything with their work, with their
load of everything,
the whole lot of family stuff,
social media stuff.
They can't deal with what's going to happen. You know, where we would have planned ahead. Like now, you know, even 40, whatever, you still plan ahead. Like, you did that, but that's the social media. The whole lot's changed. Like, it's crazy. Like.
So after mock this, was it Airfield, was it?
Yeah, I just went there just to play, because I come back from my injury, and an awful time with my injury.
How long were you out for the ACL?
It was a year and a bit, like.
34, probably.
You know, so that's what I said. I still kept myself fit, but
were you working on the rehab, or was you just letting it go?
Yeah, Norwood, and in fairness, I did 6 months in the gym up there. They had their rehab, but I just had a step back and kept having step backs with it, like, and it wasn't just walking. I was just, I think your man actually said to me, he says, because you're a bit older, you know, your muscles are more tighter,
the ligaments are drier now,
you know. So that's when I got back running. I went back to Martha's and still stayed around, and then I came on in one game, and I was just going, my appetite went, like, it was like I knew then, like.
Do you think the injury done that to you? Or
100% played it. Yeah, I think so, because if I didn't get the injury after win the league, you'd still push on, like. But I just think the injury helped going, and I know you're sitting around and you have your own emotions, and you're like going, you're not training. Yeah,
you fall into it. You can fall into it.
You know, it's like you miss them weeks. Like, imagine, like, I wouldn't know what to do myself if I wasn't managing. Like, you know, I wouldn't go to the gym. That's not me. I don't like going to. I'll go in the morning myself and keep ticking on. That's why I'm still playing 35s. But what would you do? Like, but when you're sitting there for 6 months doing nothing, you just go into it.
As you said earlier, you need to fill a gap.
You need to fill a gap, like, and it was just hard. And I just says, you know what? Going back, like, to play at that level, it was very hard.
Was it thoughts to go back and enjoy your football again, or
going back,
a few mates, or
that's in fairness, Al's right. Mates all my life, they were like, "Come on, now it's the time."
So that was easier,
you know. And I knew boppers, like, as a manager, played with him at Killester, like, so it was grand, like, you know. And I just enjoyed playing. I didn't care about making mistakes. I didn't care if I did shit, like, you know, you know, giving up games and all that, losing the lads' points. I just got in my car and went home. Where before I wouldn't go home, I'd be crying the car going home.
Had gone. But that's why you've done a long career and you gave enough into the game. At that stage, you said you you deserve that, you know, you work towards that. So
big time.
I think that's where 35s kind of comes into when you do get a little bit too old for the junior. It's good to have the 35s there.
It's like a reward at the end of it, isn't it?
And
we were only talking, but exactly, we were only talking about the weekend that wedding. I just says, you know what the difference is with 35s now? I says, we're playing against good players. You was like,
the
and it's competitive.
Against.
It's the lads you played against, and that's why everyone hates losing. Like the lads are sheriff, like you getting an injury, and you know they don't care.
Yeah,
and that's why sometimes you're like, oh, is it worth doing it? Like, you know.
Remember Higgy? Fucking said he comes up there. I'm not ready for that 35s yet. No, another couple of years and I might drop down. Get away,
But that's a very because you hear the stories about it. Or the murder at that game.
Yeah.
The thing got an injured. He's thing like there was a broken jaw at the 35s game, and it was accidental. The man just turned around.
It was accidental to your man that done it.
Like you know, just caught him. Like it was hard. Like, it was a hard tackle, but he just as he flicked it, but he fucking Paul, like he's out work, like
you sent off, wasn't he?
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like it's that, like you know, I even got sent off 2 weeks ago, kicking a bloke up the hole.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? I was like, that's just annoying me, and just booing him like,
the most demeaning thing as an adult, isn't it? Getting kicked up the hole.
My first 2 games with 34s with two sent off 2 times. First 2 games gone.
That's what I mean, like, and that's the said, like, and the referees let everything go in it.
What happened there? What did you kick him the hole? Like,
he caught me, like,
and stood
on me, like, and just frustrated. I just screwed him, just kicked him, and I never.
It's terrible,
and
isn't
like,
it?
my brother's the manager of the 34 team, and he was on that side of Ballymun, and I was like, oh, what the fucking 40 and I'm getting involved in this stuff again, like, and they build it up, like, I'm like,
it just never leaves you though,
does it? I just walked. I think it was probably the first time in about 12 years I got sent down. Just walked across. I was like, what the hell are you doing? You know, it should be actually a real going. If you get sent down, bring someone else on, like you're 35. It just doesn't leave you. Like, but I never kicked out or anyone. Just like, what are they doing? Your man jumped on the ground, like, holding his arse, and then he got up.
He's on the ground,
and then he
gave
me a wink, like, and then he went to shake my hand at the end. I didn't shake, and I shook my hand at the end again. We're walking.
Bring the physio on there.
On that one, and I was like, and my brother shouting, "Nice one, Ross." Straight away into the family group, like, I got sent off today.
Kicking someone, yeah.
You know, but that's what I say. Like, you just enjoy getting out and having a crack, being around the boys. Like, I think that's. You'd see that in change rooms now. I'd see it like down in Kilbarrack. There's not much of that banter, and you know there isn't a bit in the group and all that. The lads will have banter, but from their days, like you'd be slagging each other. Like,
thank God groups weren't around when we were back then.
And you'd be going overboard,
like
100%. And that's the people's faces. And imagine what you do in a WhatsApp group.
And then you're on the few drinks back down the jolly after you're playing left, and you'd be like, "Oh, you fucking give that ball away," you know. And that's what I say. And people just left it there. That's what I always found. Even back in their day, you just left it there. You can have your arguments and all that, was left there.
Yeah.
So we do the 35s, we head out for a few points after. There's a few of us there now. The cracks that we have is unbelievable.
But the stories,
yeah.
That's the stories. Like, I don't think generation now will have them stories.
Yeah.
Probably about winning and winning trophies, but the crack, like the banter, like that you go down on a Sunday and you'd be falling out. Like, I remember days like going into Killester club and I wouldn't be a big drinker and you're falling out on Sunday after. No, I'll be home, like I'm driving, like, and you'd be falling out, like even that car there, you know, it's
chipper under the arm.
Yeah, I remember Miss has a picture of me right back after I won the junior cup. We were in Killester at about 6 o'clock in the morning. I came back and I changed in the change room and put my kit back on because you're allowed to keep your kit with your name on. I went back into the house with my kit on, my boots and all on, with your medal around your neck, like, you know, that's that kind of stuff, like. Brilliant. And that's what I said, like, you be in groups with the lads. I'm in groups with the Killester boys as well, the older ones, and the crack you have, like, in the slagging, like, you've Steve Murphy, like, screaming and shit. You know, they're the days, like, and I loved it for the Kilbarrack lads even going out to Rockmount. And we lost it, like, in the quarter-final, the intermediate, like, but just the experience.
Yeah,
like,
get that buzz back again.
On the bus, like, and that's why we're going to Michael's on Saturday, like, you know, friendly, like, deadly. Down on the bus, like, they have to experience, like, you have to know there is more things to football, but you can enjoy it, like.
I think they're a great team bonding thing. If you get someone early on down the country and have a few drinks with the lads coming back to team, it's brilliant.
But even for junior, you would have paid that. They were great trips.
They were the best trips you could have.
And you knew you were always going to win going down, but you always knew what was coming after it. And everyone was talking about it, and right, who's bringing the music, who's singing and all that, you know. Then they're all quiet as a mouse, like, and they're sitting in the back. I don't
drinking water.
I don't drink. I'm not singing. You
Yeah.
know, it's weird.
Remember, we talked about before, didn't we? When we were up the north. They played the team in Ulster.
Yeah, that's
right. It's way down. Fucking.
Because we won the Leinster.
That's right, yeah.
You on the for the Leinster team there?
No, I remember that. Dick Redmond was up in that one.
Dick came up with us,
yeah.
Shaking
his head. Did you forget the gear and all that or something?
No, what happened was we were at the winning the Leinster Junior. the year before.
For that.
So we had to represent Leinster
they're up there.
to play.
They played Crumlin as well, wasn't
Leinster,
it? That Crumlin.
but the LSL team were
team.
playing up there as well. So they got on.
Or I was on the other team. Was there another pitch? I think.
Yeah,
there was.
So
there was 2 games.
There was 2 games. So the LSL were travelling up. I think Martin might have been the manager at the time. And we were travelling up to represent Leinster. So with Wefta, yeah. So we all came. So we were basically treating them. We were saying this is going to be a gargling session. So Gago and Jay made us wear shorts and toys. The whole lot, right? So they picked us up on the coach outside the Ardmore Hotel, but the LSL team were on the same coach. So we get on with our shorts and slacks and toys and all. They're just there on that tracksuits, right? So the 2 games were meant to kick off at the same time. So we drove up anyway. We had I think we might have been playing Killester
for the league.
We might have been playing Killester the week later for the league or something, challenging
So
the
that was
league.
the Saturday, we were playing them
This
on a
was the
Wednesday.
Saturday and we were playing them on a Wednesday, but we got up there and it was pissing rain up the north. Pitch was all waterlogged. The LSL team were playing on the better pitch over across the way, and but Gago pulled it because the pitch was a bit waterlogged, and he was saying, my team isn't playing in this game, someone's gonna get injured, so they pulled it. And anyways, there was a big meal and all that.
They did their presentation.
So they said, right, the LSL team will play. Wefta, you can all go over into the bar there. You was bleeding wait for the game to be finished. Have a few drinks. We'll go for a meal, and then we'll head back down. Should we start gargling? And Dick Redmond is going around buying rounds upon rounds up in this clubhouse we're playing in. So we're pissed before 1 o'clock, I'd say.
Oh, lads.
Before 1, 2 o'clock. So we get to the meal then, and everyone's twisted. And we're at the meal and we're throwing bread and soup and all over the place. And the referee and I think he might have been a part of the whatever committee up north, gets up and says a few words. Thanks to the Leinster senior team, blah blah blah. Great representative. And in all my life, I've never ever experienced a team to travel up like Wefta and to cancel it. It's a disgrace, and put it all over the microphone. So we were all like, oh fuck. So they slated us. But after he said his speech, everyone's up clapping and loads of people went up and shook his hand, but we all decided, the whole team, walk up and shake his hand. You're a prick, you're a wanker, you're this, you're that, you're that, you're a prick, and everything just kind of kicked off. But they got us out of there. We got back on the bus, same again. We pulled in on an off licence, and I'd say the off licence went, oh holy fuck,
what's going on?
The Leinster Senior League weren't allowed drink, so Martin wasn't letting them gargle, and we're pissed. Into the off licence, and we just robbed the place. Just walked out with trays, bottles of vodka, everything, and just onto the bus and just threw.
I think someone bought a packet of chewing gums or something like that. 600 quid down.
But then it turned out then they banned us from the Leinster Junior for like 3 years then.
That's right.
And £1,000 fine, like. But Dick Redmond was part of the committee that banned us and gave us a fine, and he was instigating her up to the North Point.
Look, he only got 3 years of fairness.
But they're the stories like that.
Lads, we got off for the piss or whatever. I think it was Brian Malone, I think it was. One lad goes out in front of the bus, jocks down like that in front of the whole community, like that was shit, yeah.
Pretending we were pissing in bottles and you know what I mean, and everything, and leaving the bottles on the bus.
I'd say even like the likes of the AOL and the committees, like if I did probably a story, a news story, like to be fucked.
Yeah.
Like a dick and all that, like to be like,
definitely,
I'm coming out with a book. You'd be like, oh, you'd be able to. You'd be able stories like that's what I said. Like it's like typical AOL. Oh yeah, come on lads, I'm in the mix. No, we didn't know that happened.
Yeah, of course.
That's
the
way it was.
Dick used to just live for them.
I never even the story, but he actually
travelled.
I think it was Kevin's bet was after the year we won the FUI. I was up in the AOL Poxy Day, and I think you got your man to sign. I think Kevin signed your man Baldoyle, but he was a banger, and Kevin's bet us. And then we put it in protest, we won it, and Dick, apparently he told him before that, oh no, he's eligible to play. He wasn't. And he washed his hands with it. But all do it. If they're the stories, like he won't even tell you that story.
Yeah,
but
that's what happened. Like. Yeah. Sorry. So if that's it, Ross, you finished with
Yeah, it's finished with football with AFL moved to Kilbarrack, so still there now
and going strong.
Yeah,
happy
so
days.
Looking forward to the new season.
So you had 9 teams there, we've counted that you sent in. You think you won everything with nearly all of them, and the 35s are looking good as well, aren't they?
Yeah, I won the Leinster Junior with the 35s. The over 35s ones last year with Temple Oak. Like, well,
you're not winning everything possible.
That's what I said. It's like
always
great. You just go and play.
Just keep winning.
It's just that fucking easy for me.
That's what I said. Like the first, the lads, they're good lads down there, and they'll text and say, "Are you available?" Like cause they train Wednesdays, and I train with Kilbarrack, so I'll keep myself ticking over, and it suits, like, oh yeah, no, I'm around Saturday or I'm around Friday.
Yeah.
And it's grand, you know, no pressure, like.
Yeah.
But no, it's enjoyable, like.
Great.
Do you step in with your sessions in Kilbarrack? Would you join
Yeah,
in?
no, and not as much. Last year I didn't do a lot. This year I did, only when, say, a short one body for rondos or the grade 6v6 or something like that, you know, stuff like that. I'd jump in, like, still enjoy it, like, what you'd see is a couple of months, years are going on, you're like, getting slower, you know. So they slag me. Yeah, there's a bit of banter where like they slag me. Like,
I remember being that player who slagged Steve, the likes of Steve O'Hanlon and all, like Davey Rooney and all. Yeah, just you're bleeding, touching on, you're 32 now. And now
you get it. The
now
lads
I'm
be
that
slagging
player,
and and be giving out, like, you'd be in with, say, it could be us, you know, you'd be on the team and that, fuck's sake, you know, you're giving out, you're like, what are you doing, like, and giving it away.
I'll leave me alone.
And they'd be shouting at Paul or Keith, take him out, take him out, we play with 5. You know what I mean?
So we're gonna have a couple of questions here for you, yeah? So honest answers are only.
Yeah, no,
so we'll start off there, all, yeah? So have any regrets in football, have you?
As I said, I think the only one I have is, I think if you have regrets in football, no one should, but I think it was the wrong time I moved from Valley. That's the only regret. I shouldn't have never done, because they were on the way. Like, I don't know why I did that move.
Definitely would have been the difference as well for them.
Oh yeah, no, I should have, and it was like, you know, I was eager to. I wanted them to win it, and then I didn't want them to win it. You know, I was like going, what the fuck am I doing? Like, you know, and it was the wrong thing to do. Definitely.
Just while we were talking about that, when you said that was a big regret of yours, but then the move from Valley obviously to Ballymun was a regret. But then your next move was probably the best move you could have ever done.
Yeah.
And God only knows what, that probably couldn't have happened if you had stayed with Valley. It could have happened 3 or 4 years down the line. But to move from Ballymun to Killester and go and win all that, like win everything possible in the.
And that's what I always say to people, like, I always did it for me, like, I didn't do it, like, you know, when you, like, if he was leaving, you be on him, annoying him, no, don't leave, and then you might, all right, okay, I'll stay.
Consider
and
it,
it was people like that, and I just says, no, we have to do this,
yourself,
like, you know, I have to get away from it, like, you know.
Of course.
It could be down to Joey not giving up on you as well.
Yeah.
Right, Ross, the best player you played with?
Oh, there'd be a couple, like I'd say, like at the Ballymun, like, it was probably Davey and, you know, Paul, like, you know, they had handle, like, for the centre half bringing out the ball, like, you had Gary Burdock, but I thought, like, even that, like, you Beef Conroy behind you, like, it's hard to pick one, like, it really is, like, in terms of that era, like, even at Killester, like, Lacey would have been and Mick had the 2 best players, like, in that generation. Did not thing, like, but even the likes of JD, like, he was so underrated, like, you know, as a player, like, he did, like, I loved him when he played in front of me, like,
he's very underrated,
you know, like, it's Stephen Murphy didn't look like a player, but it's very hard to pick one, you know, but I'd say,
well, you have to pick one, Ross.
Yeah, no, now, in fairness, out of the whole lot, like, when you, I'd say for what he does and what way he goes about it, probably 2 would be Carlo and Martin Kramer.
Very good, yeah. I think James, he picked Kramer, did he, for his best player he played with? Yeah.
So the hardest player you played against?
Oh, that's easy. That would have been. Well, in fairness, there was. I always said, and Spanky was one.
Yeah.
Hated playing against him.
I think every centre half did.
Oh, he just never. He knew. He just put the elbows in. He just never stopped you. He just, like, John O'Rourke is definitely, like,
the one.
Come on, like, you know, he's right up there. Like, he's like Spanky, just never stopped, and he looked out of breath, and he's still going.
Dogs.
Just that's it. They just killed you from pillar to post. Like, you know, they're probably the 2. Like, as I said, especially AOL, because when you go into the league, it's not as bulky, it's not as physical, you know, it's as much more tactical. Like, it's more tactical, you know, but back then, like, definitely Spanky and Johnner.
Johnner's up was 35 now, he is. He's a madman.
Best manager?
Like, you couldn't pick, like, for what Joey did, like that, you've known Martin, like, Martin's constantly do it. Joey, like, you know, for what he's done for my career, like, 100%, like, but at the 2 of them, Martin Loughlin, like, it's frightening. There's no comparison between both of them. Yeah. Because
they mirror each other for AOL and
then senior league. Yeah. That's the difference. Like,
so we go best club,
Killester. Has to be. Just with the bar and everything, the life. Yeah, even my wife talks about it now. How much she misses it. Like, the nights outs and the parties and the Halloween parties. You know, just stuff that was a club. 100%. Like,
your best friend in football.
Yeah, well, look, that's what I said. There's that many, like, a football wise, like, would be lazy, like.
Davey.
Yeah, you know, he just built a partnership when me and him arrived at Killester at the same time, like, and we still go out, like, you know, we were out with the Guinness stars there, the couples and all that, you know, so that's it. Like, and James would be there as well, like, you know, you'll always have friendships.
Yeah.
You know, but Davey would be always one that would stand out, like.
So we go favourite memory.
I would say has to be the Aviva, like.
Some memory of that in there.
Just
that was the first year as well. Was in
the intermediate.
The
intermediate with Crumlin.
Yeah.
Was that Tolga or was that?
That was against Tolga.
Did you win 2 intermediates with Tolga?
No, just one. They won it the following year I left then.
Yeah.
Yeah, they won it against that team. But just the experience, like, you know, you go there with your own kids now, but even with the thing, you go and watch the matches and know what goes on underneath. That was the thing when the bus came underneath and the drive-through.
Yeah.
It was all done. I had to.
It's a great experience.
Just walking out and like, you know, it was just.
I was actually at that myself. I cut the last ones. That was that. You were on Forced Ways.
Yeah, we were on.
Yeah, and
you know, it's my favourite many. And then I actually said to people, they shouldn't have the intermediate cup final there.
I agree. I've always said that. I don't
too
think
far away from the pitch.
I think it ruins the actual game itself.
It ruins what it's supposed to be. The FA Junior, it's great. We can play in it, but when I played in the FA Junior with the final against in Dalymount against John Bosco's, like with Killester, everyone's beside you, and the atmosphere and the thing where I felt you could hear you were screaming at the pitch, you could hear your own echo.
It's dead.
It's dead.
The atmosphere.
I didn't like playing on it because it was just too much. Like you wanted, like even look at Rockmount's game. I watched it live. That was up in Sligo, but it was still a bit of an atmosphere to it. Where they should get back to that. Yeah, you know, them days.
Obviously, if the stadium was full, it'd be probably a bit different. Only a couple of thousand people.
But you're just
never going to feel that.
Felt huge. And you're trying to actually get Martin's even trying to get a message out to you. You're trying to shout, but even to kick the ball, you know. But it was just
slows the game
weird.
Down, doesn't it?
It was great, great experience, but I just did not like it playing in it. And I've always said they shouldn't be in it.
Right, here we go, Ross. People kind of struggle with this one, and it's off the cuff, and it's we didn't give it any time for it. We don't give anyone any time for it. But your best 11.
Formation.
Look, I'll go 3-5-2. It's simple. It's easier to fit people probably in. But formation, I'd say, like, keeper, you played with Austin Hannah, played with Mina, you know, like ballers. But like even for the period that I played with him, Lee Murphy, like
the best.
Yeah, he's just the way he taught and his distribution. Like
distribution is unbelievable.
You know, I've played it with all the great keepers, like. You know, even Keith Dunhill, like he was even there then. You know, Lee, even Conor Daly, mad like, but good goalkeeper. Beef, you know, Mina. You know, like that's a said. Like he even had team that used to play in goal for Tolga and Moctus.
Morgan, yeah.
You know,
you had a lot of good keepers behind you.
Like even with the Irish team and even in with Kevin's, like he's still playing at that stage. Like
Austin was 40 still.
That's what I said. So you could have a choice, but just for Lee or just for his distribution, like he's just the way he taught.
Some heights and kick outs.
Yeah, but he'd come and catch them, and you just always felt calm.
He was confident in his own ability as well, wasn't he? He wasn't a big stature, like he wasn't, but he had everything. He was very agile and things like that. Yeah, so Lee.
Yeah, the three at the back, like definitely, Darren Murphy would be definitely one.
Yeah,
you know that it was over. You know. Never thought like he should have gotten an Northern cap before me, and no problem with that. Like I said, I think he did get one then later.
He
actually played in that with me with that goal. I was delighted for him. Like you'd have Derek Griffin, like beast, like a Crumlin, like. Then the thing I always loved Carl, you know, Redmond. He was left forward, but like even Stephen Murphy, like and my brilliant left forward. Like he again didn't look like a player. Yeah. Like he even got capped. Like and he was brilliant against Holland. I think it was in Dalymount. Like. But they're the three, like Darren, probably Griffo and Steve Murphy.
Right.
The midfield. If you're going with this, the way I'd go, like because you had runners like Shane Dunn, like
right side,
like
he was consistent.
It's just
Shane
consistent,
Dunn,
up and down.
Player,
like, that's to say, you need that. Like, in fairness, Andy Fitz would have probably be in there, but he picked up a lot of injury. He was brilliant.
He was left side at Killester. I remember
he broke his leg, and we won it.
Look at Graham, wasn't he?
Yeah, but your man milled him down 2 mile Boris in the cup in the FA Junior, and he smashed his leg. He never came back from that. The three in the middle would be definitely JD, Martin Kramer, and you could have a toss up, but I'd put Lardon in there,
right?
Just because it's just Larry, you could play him anywhere.
Yeah.
You just had them hips. The wide left be very hard to McGreal, like.
Big time.
100%.
Best player
You
I
can
played
play him
with.
in the 10, like you put him in there, but you can pick two.
Yeah.
But up front, be Lacey and Davy Kane.
Front and
Yeah,
centre forward partnership,
yeah.
that, yeah.
I thought you'd have
Just-
went with Mika and Davy there.
Now,
Davy
like
Lacey.
Mika, like that, Mika would be all day, but just something different. Where
Yeah.
you need a little because the two runners are too fast. Like, but like Davy Kane, like it's just
He was outstanding.
unbelievable. Like.
Outstanding. Probably, I think we spoke about before, but I think he was the best that kind of graced the junior.
I played like with John in the yoke.
centre
Like I would have
forward.
liked to play with John or more. I think you know, I would have liked to have him in the team. I played representative for him with the Irish team that year. We won it. Like he was a part of it. Like he was excellent. Like, but that said, you could pick like Barry Kavanagh was there. Played with him.
We
like.
had a great era for centre forwards, didn't we?
That's said, and you enjoyed it. Like I loved always playing
Mm.
against them. Like I always say that. Even
Test
with,
yourself for the best, don't you?
I always even with Barry Kavanagh, you could be shy for 89 minutes and just comes up in the box, bang, back to the net.
Like Lacey, yeah.
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 Do you know what I mean? And that's a said. There's not many there. Like, but you could pick. So I could pick probably 5 different 11s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
in
Yeah.
that, like,
Especially when you had 9 teams.
yeah, true. Yeah, that's a said. There's all different qualities. Like you know, like James, he was excellent. Like Wackadone, like
Yeah.
you know, but like to me, Jay, like Wackadone had been in that team every week.
Yeah.
The way he did it, like you know, but like for JD, like he was just brilliant.
But look,
sitting in
you
there.
played with him and
Yeah.
you got to know how he was and things like that. But yeah, that's it, Ross. That was brilliant. Appreciate
Thanks
that,
very much,
Ross.
lads.
Thanks
Brilliant,
very
was
much.
Yeah, excellent.
Enjoyed that.
Delhi.